I have zero chatters, so it's hard to make good content. This is what I get told constantly by you watching these videos, that you can't keep talking and you can't make good content because, again, you have zero chatters and zero viewers, and that's what's holding you guys back. Seriously, every time I tell you guys to make good content in order to grow and get those first chatters and to keep talking non-stop, the comments get flooded with, "Sitting there talking to zero viewers is brain dead. You're out of touch. Make videos that help non-affiliates. Twitch needs to remove the 3-viewer rule for affiliates." Okay, I understand. Today, I'm going to give you the perfect growth tool for someone with zero viewers and zero chatters. But it is a bit of a process and not some magical quick fix because actual help never is. There's no plug-in or magic way for you to grow, which means we start where we always do, the first step, which sadly is a bit of a hard truth. I had to hear it and it sucks, but ultimately it helped me grow, so I feel like I have to be the bearer of bad news to help you guys grow. Hey, what's that ominous glow in the distance? Look, if you honestly believe having zero viewers or zero chatters is holding you back, then the hard truth is you're most likely holding yourself back, especially from making good content. And if you don't agree, that's okay, but I need to say it. So first, let's ignore the fact about how viewers and chatters won't exist unless you make good content for them to chat about, right? Given that's if they can even get past the pre-roll ads on Twitch these days. Personally, I believe having zero viewers and chatters is an excuse. Don't get me wrong, it's a damn good excuse, but you are still making an excuse as to why you can't make good content. And before you get mad at me, I know you're making an excuse because I make excuses just like that all the time. I tell myself, I can't put energy into that massive idea. I only have 100 average viewers. Or I shouldn't spend time on that video I'm really excited about. It won't get views. And I'll tell you what, guys, I am the first to admit that is idiotic. This might sound surprising, but you will always have a mindset that you need to be bigger to do the cool stuff or to be more successful. But that makes no sense. You get bigger by doing the cool things. You become successful by trying to aim for quality with what you have now for who you have now. And unless you shut down the idea that you need to be bigger before you can make good content, well, then you're setting yourself up for failure. But I think just changing one tiny little part of your mindset can solve the problem. But that is step one, admitting you and I sometimes make excuses, okay? Moving on to step two, if you still honestly believe that you need to have chatters in order to keep yourself talking to make good content, then I have a question for you. Why is it that you need chatters to make good content when YouTubers making probably similar content to yours are able to record for 2 to 3 hours offline without a single chatter and they can keep talking? They don't have their mum sat off to the side during recordings pretending to be Twitch chat, aka posting racial slurs or asking if you want to buy followers. But seriously, YouTubers don't know what is being kept in the final edit. They don't know when something hilarious, interesting, or amazing could happen. They just have to make that recording as engaging as possible all by themselves, so that there is more to work with in the edit. It is essentially streaming to zero viewers. You might have your own theories, but the reason I think they're able to do this is because I lied. They actually do have a viewer. No, I'm joking. You see, even if they have 0 subscribers, they actually do have one single viewer no matter what in those recording sessions. And that is their editor. Who, to be fair, that could actually be their mum. Their mum could be editing for them. I don't know, I'm not judging. YouTubers have to try and fail over and over and over at making good, engaging recordings with 0 chatters. But where this changes, where it then goes a step further, is they then have to sit down and often edit it themselves, which forces them to learn exactly where they failed at being funny, being engaging, or being just generally good at creating content. They see all of their worst moments, all the flaws, every bit of dead air, every time they pick their nose, every fart that they shouldn't have trusted, everything. And it is brutal to try edit a funny or great moment and see all the ways you screwed it up. But that brutality is key to learning how to improve. As always, this is the part of the video where I explain how I'm an embarrassing failure. Just a few weeks ago, I sat down to edit a Fall Guys video, and holy crap, it was impossible. Because I wouldn't stop talking to chat about random crap during big, exciting gameplay moments. Moments that would be great in a video. I got a crown and won an entire game, but ruined it because I was trying to ask chat questions about pineapple on pizza. to keep them active, to make me feel better and not have an empty chat. How dumb is that? That anyone wouldn't like pineapple on pizza, I mean. That frustration of having bad footage to edit with or struggling with dumb mistakes often makes the motivation needed to be better next time. It helps me and you and anyone doing this improve. It keeps them talking and making good content the next time they sit down to record. I will admit there is a difference. The difference for you is, as a streamer, you're so focused on that little live viewer number, so focused on how many or how few viewers are chatting. Maybe for you, it says 0, or maybe for streamers like me, it could be falling below 100 average for the first time in 2-3 years. When that number gets low or when your chat gets quiet, you can easily forget that you're meant to be making good content right then and right there for those viewers who are there. If you're focused on the viewers you don't have, well, you'll start to feel terrible. And if you feel terrible, the content will almost certainly be terrible. Especially if you aren't planning on making that stream into any other content like a short or a video. If it's only a stream, it feels like a waste to talk when nobody is there. Nobody's hearing it. It feels pointless. Or as this, I'm sure, very kind person in real life says, it feels brain dead. But this is also why I tell you guys to turn the view count off and stream as if you have hundreds of viewers. Just pretend those viewers are all League of Legends players, which means they've gotten so angry they've smashed their keyboards so they can't type in chat. But remember, they love your content right now and would chat if they could. So keep talking, keep trying to make good, engaging content for them. Don't let them down. Or if you don't like that, because who wants League of Legends viewers watching them, just stream purely with the logic of editing it into a video. Don't focus on your current audience, focus on your future audience. Focus on yourself as the editor. Focus on not letting yourself down in the editing stage. Personally, I think this shift in mindset should solve a lot of your issues, but as always, I've pulled together a group of actionable tips that you guys can go away and start working on right now. I'm actually really excited because the final tip in this video is something I haven't really seen anyone else in the streamer space talk about, and when I tried it, it completely changed how I thought about content, streaming, and videos. But for that tip to make sense, first we need to talk about what good content is, because saying go make good content means absolutely nothing to most of you guys. Straight out of the gate, we can rule out any ideas that require chat engagement or interactivity. Clearly that defeats the purpose of this entire video. We're doing this to 0 viewers and maybe your mum. So to plan out your content idea, you'll want to establish 3 things, and you've probably heard me talk about these before, but it's important to cover them again. First, establish a goal. What are you working towards in this piece of content? Number 2, establishing the challenge or the hurdles that are going to stop you from reaching your goal. And number 3, establishing stakes or a payoff. What happens if you don't reach the goal, or what happens if you do reach it? Does the ending, no matter what, feel satisfying for a viewer? This is a tried and true method and the most basic form of storytelling, and I want you to try and consider these 3 things for almost every single stream. For example, your goal is to beat Pokemon Fire Red, but only using shiny Pokemon. The challenge is that shiny Pokemon are a 1 in 4,000 chance to spawn, and if a Pokemon dies, it dies for good. So the stakes are having to restart the run entirely from scratch, losing the hours and hours and hours you've spent finding those shinies. You don't need chatters if you have a structure or a goal like that. You're focused on achieving it and you have a plan of action to make good content. You just talk about those things that are happening. I have a different video that breaks down that entire concept in much more detail because it's just such a large thing that it needed its own specific focused video. I will link that in the description. But for now, that is the 3rd step to escaping 0 viewers, taking your content or story to the next level by planning out how you can make it engaging. Now, I promised you I would tell you how my entire outlook on streaming and content creation was changed. What changed it? What is the most powerful tip I have learned? Well, it started with one particular stream a few months ago where I did exactly what I just told you guys to do, and it all went terribly. That's right, I took my own advice and I had the worst stream of my entire career. I had planned a content idea. I was going to play Breath of the Wild and I was going to put it on Master Mode, and I was going to do a challenge called Trial of the Sword. This is an incredibly difficult challenge, especially on Master Mode. But I have a lot of hours in this game, and to make it more interesting, I decided that every time I died, I would put on a new piece of a clown costume. That included the face paint, the wig, the bow tie, you name it, everything. I was becoming a clown. This has a goal, this has a challenge, and this damn well has a payoff. Either I beat this brutally hard challenge, or I become a literal clown. Most likely it will be the clown, but hey, I actually had a weird amount of confidence in myself on this one. So I went live, I did the setup, I did everything I normally would for a stream, and then I enter the challenge and begin trying to beat it. At first, it was really fun. I'm enjoying myself, making jokes, and just generally actually doing pretty well. But chat wasn't as active as it normally is. So I checked my view account, and this was my major mistake, and specifically what I warned you about earlier. You see, rather than having the 150 plus viewers that I normally had around this time, I only had 80 to 90 viewers. It was still a lot, but it was far less than normal, which is important to note. Because the anxiety set in, and suddenly I lost faith in the content I was making. I lost faith in the idea. I honestly didn't believe I could entertain anyone. I tried my best to keep pushing and to make it good, but you could tell I was rattled, and in turn, the content became worse and worse and worse because I lacked confidence in it. If you looked at the VOD, which is sadly expired now, you can literally see the difference in content between not knowing my view count and after checking it. And boy, let me tell you, it was rough. It was two completely different people. The next day, I felt like crap. I was thinking about how much it affected me and trying to figure out why it affected me so much and why it affected me so negatively. Obviously, if I just didn't check my view account or if I just didn't care how many viewers I had, this wouldn't have happened, right? Well, no. Because I still would have been worrying about chat engagement. If people aren't posting hype or laughing in chat at my jokes and fails, how do I know it's good content? How can someone without a chat know they're making good content if they're not being told it's good? And it hit me. How do I know this video is good? Why am I confident here recording this for you right now? Is it because I know the video will get views? No, because I was also confident recording the Stream Room podcast, which gets way less viewers than this channel does. And I love recording on my side channel, which also gets way less viewers. And that was the realization. Recording a video offline has no fear attached to it because it has no stakes. You're meant to have no viewers, so you don't need to focus on chat engagement. Nobody can judge me while recording the content if I make a bad joke. Nobody can troll me, follow bot me, and I don't need to multitask between thanking follows, checking chat, or making sure my stream hasn't crashed. The only goal for me in an offline recording is to make the best possible content I can. But I had to prove this, so I tried it out. I came up with a stream idea in full. It had a goal, a challenge, and a payoff. But rather than hit start streaming, I hit start recording. And it fucking worked. Those 90 to 120 minutes of footage are some of the most confident, the tightest and engaging minutes of content I have ever made. Suddenly having 0 viewers became a strength. Having 0 chatters became a godsend for making and focusing on good content. And you know what? When I edited that recording, it was so much easier and it made far better content than editing any of my streams ever have. And that video got 225,000 views on a channel that at the time only had 3,000 to 4,000 subscribers. Also, I was so thankful that I was only editing 90 to 120 minutes of tight, solid, focused content rather than 3 to 5 hours of stream footage with Twitch alerts, music, talking to chat, and everything else I would normally have to cut around. This was so much easier to edit than any stream I have ever tried to cut down. And guys, I'm a professional with 8+ years of editing experience. Unlike you, who are most likely a beginner using DaVinci Resolve for the 3rd or 4th time. I cannot begin to imagine you sitting down to struggle editing 3 to 5 hours of footage. It must be impossible for you, wildly daunting, because it has always been brutal for me, even with my experience. So this is the final step to escaping 0 viewers, and I know you guys want to be streamers. I know you don't want to learn to edit, but I actually think this is game-changing for so many of you watching this. If you're truly struggling with making good, engaging content, or you're struggling with your own mental energy about having low viewers and chatters, then just take control of all of that. Make all of that no longer a factor and hit record instead. Because with practice, you'll feel more confident. The editing will be easier for you, but most of all, even if you don't make better content this time, you'll improve because you watched it back, saw where to improve, and most importantly, you've lost nothing, risked nothing, because nobody saw you make bad content. Nobody can belittle you, nobody can touch you. If you don't want to release it, you don't have to. So screw editing stream footage, that sucks and makes worse streams and worse videos, I've learned. That's new LJ 2023. I'm not going to edit my streams down anymore, unless they need to. I'm going to try avoid it. And if you still don't agree with all of this, if you still think having 0 viewers is holding you back from making good content, then please comment below. Let's talk about it. But before you comment, at least try these steps first. Come up with an idea, film it, try to edit it down, and see where you have to improve. Because it might be what you need to finally start improving and feel better about your content. And if you're feeling nervous about all of this though, then click this video right here. It has a few basic tips anyone can start doing to build a bit more confidence in their content. I'll see you next week.